Hello there. Welcome to the other side of my living room. I want to talk about something very specific that happened to me yesterday in relation to the types of energies that are going around since yesterday and a little bit of today too. But one of my friends had let's call it a bad reaction to something that I wanted to engage with. First of all, this happens a lot to me because of some very specific reasons, but we'll get into that later. But in general, if you follow me or if you read anything that I post on my own personal timeline, you'll know that I'm not exactly one to scamp away from showing something that's a little bit out there or that's challenging some sort of status quo, or that wants to look deeper on a subject and to find new horizons or to look at something that people would typically disregard. So I tend to post a lot of controversial stuff. But anyway, yesterday I posted a video that inspired me to post it. It's this man. Sorry if I don't follow him very often. But it was this physician, I believe, who was ranting about what's going on right now in healthcare. I post a lot about healthcare, if you don't know already, from my own journey. I use Chinese medicine, and I also have been sick with Lyme disease for many, many years. So if you want to check out anything about that, be sure to check out my other website, White Lotus. Or hit me up and talk on my wall. I can talk for hours and hours. But anyway, this physician was ranting that in hospitals today in the United States, physicians are finding themselves stuck between a rock and a hard place. And that rock is patients or people that are sick that are waking up to how the system isn't looking out for their best interests. They're waking up to the notion that a doctor themselves isn't a god and cannot provide all the answers or the solutions, but should be a resource provider to you. However, that's the rock. The hard place or the wall is their employer, right? So the physicians, the hospitals, and their employers who give them stipulations and give them a framework to work within. And that framework is juxtaposed against the best interests of the people who are sick. And he was ranting and saying, stop being so pissed at your doctors. Stop being so angry at these healthcare workers that are being put in a straitjacket and can't do what they want to do. That's what his angle was. And I thought, hey, that's an awesome message to spread because, there's been a lot of skepticism with hospitals and physicians in the past couple of years, as I, of course, know. I myself have been super skeptical, and that's how I was able to look into other alternative modes of healing. That's a whole other discussion entirely. But anyway, I posted this, and instead of tagging one of my friends in the post, I noticed that she retracted her tag. So I instead took that URL and I sent it to her on a DM. And instead of saying anything at all, I noticed yesterday that she just blocked me out of the blue. That wouldn't bother me necessarily because I've been blocked by an awful lot of people. But this particular individual, it really kind of felt personal to me because she is studying to be a physician. She is an extremely intelligent human being, and she's very knowledgeable, and she's very resourceful when it comes to the kind of standard, typical Western lens of I'm going to study my butt off in medical school. I'm going to be like a human dictionary because I can retain all that information. She's a natural with that. But it disturbs me to a great extent because she was so willing to silence that initiation. Personally, for me, nothing irks me more than if a person tries to take me and then put me here, Or if they try to just la, 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 you don't exist, you don't exist. I hate that. Nothing pisses me off more than that, because I feel I have a lot to share and I have a lot to talk about. I'm not exactly a light talker. I like to go to really, really heavy subjects, and I can be very intense in the way that I do that. So I understand that with a lot of people. We've just changed for a couple of days now into a new month, into a new lunar cycle. It has fire and wood. And me personally, how I receive that is very challenging, because fire and wood in that order, that precise order, are the two things that I need to avoid, because I myself am like 50% fire by volume, if you can't tell already. So any added fire to the fire I have already is going to make my ego seem more inflated to other people, and is going to make me personally, from my own vantage point, far excessively consuming of different ideas and observations and things. I'll think too much. I'll tend to overthink things, or be overly emotional, or impulsive. Fire is really, really very impulsive. If you watch how natural fire burns, it doesn't say, oh, I'm going to go over here to this section of the forest now that we're burning. Okay, everybody, 1, 2, 3, ready? Lift the left foot. No, they don't do that. It just rah everywhere. So there's that. The wood feeds the fire, right? But wood is all about meticulousness, all about, superfluosity, so many variables, so much information, just raw information, just lots of it, and categorized, and everything needs to be in order and pristine, and all the T's need to be crossed and all the I's need to be dotted, that kind of idea. So put that together, you get a very easy situation to become frustrated in if you're a person like me. So I can interpret it that way with what's going on. Also, when we look at my friend's 4 pillars, I'm not going to show it here because she hasn't been talking to me since she blocked me. Obviously, she has prevented any sort of communication from occurring whatsoever. So that's all on you if you're watching. That's all on her. So I'm not going to blame myself for any of that. But I know that from her chart, because I have seen some of her chart, that wood and fire naturally come to her as well. I can't remember if she needs fire or wood, but I know that the portions of her personality that really shine through with fire and with wood are going to be, boosted to the 10th degree during this month in general. And even when the month in general has fire and wood like this, if we say come upon a day in the future here, in the near future, where that day is really, really wooden or has a lot of fire or both, those qualities in her are going to, just be boosted to the 10th degree as well. So she could get caught up in stuff. She can become overly obsessive and think. Fire is very impulsive. Yeah, it just goes here, there, whatever. Just like, oh, a situation comes before me, boom, act that way, act without thinking. That is what's going to be really, really a challenge for people who are fiery and wooden, and or fiery and wooden for this month. So again, I want to thank you guys for sticking around. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, whatever, feel free to interact with me. I will post whatever people are talking about. I want to get right in there in the conversations. If you want to look more in depth on this, or if you want to reading yourself, whatever, just come. I'm ready to go this month with all that fire and wood. So talk to you soon.